This next screencast is currently how I'm attempting to accomplish the first problem. Currently what I've done here on the back end is created a custom post type for neighborhoods, and within that has custom fields for the title, the background color, the background image, latest news as a WYSIWYG editor that they could just list links as a list, local events, which I'm attempting to install an RSS feed, haven't completely figured that out yet, listings, which will just have text information, and then what I've assumed would work, and I'll get that there in a second. Let's just say I pick a DuPont circle for the sake of the example. It links to there, as you saw, from that main map on the home page, but also when you click on neighborhoods. So here you have all the list of neighborhoods, and this is actually calling from a neighborhoods PHP template that's been added to a page. So I've added the template, I've created neighborhoods as the only page within all of this parent-child kind of relationship. And this lists all of the neighborhoods titles, pulling the custom field for neighborhood name, which if I just get to the custom fields down here, so neighborhood name, so it pulls this field name, neighborhood name, and then it just lists them. And then when I click it, it goes to my single neighborhood PHP file, which then pulls the custom information that I was just showing you here within the neighborhood's custom post type, the name, the background color, and as you can see, all those things are referenced here. And it's obviously pulling a different structure in the page from the single neighborhood PHP template. This menu, I've attempted to create it from the appearance and menus, and I've been able, to create it. It does work, but I just can't figure out for the life of me how I would link it dynamically to start calling places that are only relevant to Adams Morgan. So there was a point when I would click it, it would list the places that I have listed here, which right now I only have 2, because I'm trying to figure this whole structure thing out before I start populating it with a bunch of neighborhoods and places. But then it would just, what it would basically do is pull up all the ones I would add to places, regardless of the taxonomy that I set up. So we're in a place right now called Oxford House, and that is within the neighborhood of DuPont Circle. So I only have that listed. I don't understand how parents can have children within the same custom post type. That doesn't make any sense to me how that's possible, because if I'm listing all places, none of them are going to be parent to each other. They're all places. And if I list neighborhoods, none of them are going to be parent to each other because they're all neighborhoods. But places will be the child of neighborhoods. So that could be a parent kind of relationship. But I don't know how to make one custom post type the parent of another. I've seen this plugin called Post to Posts, but I don't really understand how to use it, or if that would be really what I should be using. I'm trying to kind of make this in the most logical tree hierarchy parent to child relationship as possible, understanding that there might be some conditionals. So going back to what I was trying to accomplish here in places now, right now I currently just have this as a CSS, just as HTML menu within the single neighborhood PHP template, and I thought I could do something like the template tag, or I'm sorry, the permalink template tag, and it would pull places from here dynamically that would have the taxonomy of the specific neighborhood, but it doesn't work that way. So I'm trying to figure out how to do that now. Again, before, when I created the menu through appearances, I had to literally create all of these as pages. So I had to create a places page, a gallery page, a history page, a points of interest page. And I wouldn't mind doing that. That's okay for me to do. I can even attach specific templates to them. My problem is that it doesn't tend to carry on the attributes of this parent element. So right now I'm in a neighborhood called Adams Morgan. If I were to click places, even if that place was a page using a template, how would it call this custom post type? Well, actually, I get how it would call the custom post type, but how do I get it to call the places within the specific taxonomy of this neighborhood? That's what I'm trying to figure out. And then also I wanted to know if my structure on how I'm thinking about this is correct. For example, within the neighborhood now I've added gallery, history, and points of interest. They're all going to be WYSIWYG editor kind of information. So I figured, okay, well, if it's relevant to the neighborhood, I should just include it all within the same post. So here, as you can see, I have history, I have points of interest, and I have gallery here, which I'm hoping I could just populate this with images, and then through just a jQuery slideshow present them. So this would just populate them, I'm hoping, like in a list format. And then when I go to the gallery, I've already kind of styled, a gallery to, well, this one's not working, but I've already styled the gallery to kind of just list them out. Okay, well, that's obviously not the page. So here, neighborhood gallery. So it would just be like a simple block gallery. So I'm hoping it would just, and see, I'm on the gallery page, and this is the history page, which is just WYSIWYG content information. Same with this. So I'm hoping that I can somehow connect by calling that custom field, and WordPress will then create the association saying, oh, well, it belongs to this parent, so I should be pulling the points of interest from this neighborhood, and the history from this neighborhood, and the gallery from this neighborhood, just based on how I've done it here, of including everything relevant or pertinent to the neighborhood within its own post. That's how I'm working it right now. And then places, the idea is I would put everything pertinent to the place in here. So once I actually got to a place, like in DuPont Circle, I went to places. Here's a list of places in DuPont Circle. I click one of them, it takes me to its page. So the place name, I may also have to put, so that WordPress doesn't do it dynamically in whatever case, maybe I could just put the second header down here, and then they could customize that and put, DuPont Circle, and it would pull that. So then that's one less dynamic element I have to worry about. But it would be cool if it would just automatically do that from the parent. But if it doesn't, I can live without that. I'll just explain that to the client. And then gallery, of course, I would do the same thing I just showed you for neighborhoods, but at the places level, add a WYSIWYG editor to put pictures for the gallery. And then all I would want to have happen in this places, like I mentioned in the other one, is just link it back to the place list of that specific neighborhood. So this is the full extent of what I'm really trying to do. I know there's nested hierarchies going on here, and I know I'm making a mistake in how I'm linking them. That's what I really need advice on. How can I link them better? Is this using two separate custom post types the correct route to go? Because I was thinking if I stopped calling this neighborhood and just called it like neighborhoods and places, or Washington, D.C., and then I would just add a neighborhood and then put all its information and then add another neighborhood as a place and then make that the child of another place. But that would be hard. It would be impossible to do because they both have slightly different information. So I just figured the best way to do it is to separate them into their own post type, and then add all the content within it, within each neighborhood, within each place, and then figure out more or less how to dynamically call on that information from the sub-navigation menu. And then once I drill down to the actual place, call that information from that place. So that's kind of the logical way that I see it happening. I know it would require if statements and all kinds of conditional things, perhaps some functions. I don't know. I realize this is kind of a mistake, but this was my initial thinking, that then I would create a custom post type for all the galleries and all the histories and all the points of interest and all the feature places. But then I'm just multiplying this problem of relating one custom post type to another by like 5 or 6 instead of just, and then that's when the idea and search and Q&As and forums came to just, hey, why don't I put all the pertinent information of a neighborhood within its own post? Why don't I put all the information of a pertinent place within its post, and then trying to figure out a parent-child relationship of these two, and then I can eliminate all these other, or at least these other 3 galleries, histories, and points of interest, CPTs, and just call it, a project, and then start populating it. So that's where I'm at. Hopefully you can see where I'm at. I'm going to provide the list, obviously, to the link, obviously, to the site, and hopefully you guys could give me an estimate and kind of let me know what I'm doing wrong, and help me write it. So I appreciate it. Thank you.